Okay, so a few things that kind of tie together for the New York Rangers and their right side defense. We have ourselves a thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to one guy and how it very much relates to another very positive story with the Rangers that we just saw yesterday. So, we're going back over to dailyfaceoff.com and taking a look at that article that Frank Seravalli published. Yes, I said this in yesterday's video about Vladimir Tarasenko and the LA Kings, but Frank Seravalli, he's working for Daily Faceoff now, the website that has the jersey line combinations and all that, and he is now a full-time writer, breaking the ice, going out there, putting some rumors and all that because he is a legit NHL insider. Instead of doing this for TSN, he's doing it on the Daily Faceoff website. We're going back to the same article, Icebreakers, latest on Tarasenko, DeAngelo, and Ekman-Larsson. We already spoke about the Tarasenko thing. Next up in this little string is Tony DeAngelo. And yes, we're bringing this guy back up on the channel because it appears, for all intents and purposes, that the DeAngelo saga with the Rangers is now complete. Now, if you don't know who DeAngelo is, you might be getting into the league, you're brand new to this thing, I wouldn't blame you. DeAngelo only played 6 games this season, and the reason had nothing to do with injuries or anything like that. He is an offensive defenseman at heart, 5'11", 181 pounds, he's 25 years old, turning 26 later this year, and he's a right-handed D-man. He was defined by his season last year, before the 6 games, 1 point season he had now, where in 68 games played in 2019-20, he had 53 points and 15 goals. This is a guy who, if you take a look at just the numbers and you don't know what's going on, you take a look at this and you say, man, what happened to this guy? Something really bad must have happened. And yeah, something bad really did happen. He got into a fight with his goaltender, Alexander Georgiev, and there was a fisticuffs exchange going on there. The details were revealed as the next few days transpired, and everything was really ugly, and as a result, the Rangers went out there, they tried to get him off the team, tried sending him away, tried trading him, tried sending him down and all that, and it got so bad to the point where DeAngelo just didn't play a game for a long, long time, despite being a very capable offensive defenseman at the NHL level for the Rangers just a year ago. And so, because of all the drama that's gone down with DeAngelo, not even to mention the stuff that he does off the ice on Twitter, for example, he made his way onto this Seravalli article the other day on Daily Faceoff. Let's go ahead and read what is mentioned right here. The New York Rangers have finalized plans to buy out the final year of defenseman Tony DeAngelo's contract, set to become official once the first buyout window opens 24 hours after the Stanley Cup final concludes. We've all expected a buyout on the horizon for DeAngelo, who was dismissed from the team by then GM Jeff Corton for an off-ice incident on January 31st, but we now have a sense of the timing. Since DeAngelo is only 25 years old, the buyout will only cost the Rangers 1/3 of his remaining dollars, rather than the 2/3 for players who are 26 and older. The cost will be spread over 2 years, leaving the Rangers with a cap charge of $383,000 in 21-22 and $883,000 in 22-23, and a total of nearly $4.5 million of dead money for new GM Chris Drury to manage alongside of other lingering buyouts of Henrik Lundqvist, Shattenkirk, and Dan Girardi. Man, Dan Girardi, you remember that guy? Yeah, I do for sure. The rest of the piece talks about how DeAngelo will become a UFA, and there are teams that have made themselves known to be interested in him in the past. So there very well might be an opportunity for DeAngelo to maybe come back at the NHL and maybe showcase himself off as a power play quarterback capable of 50-plus points, despite his off-ice history and reputation. And so, it's now come to an end, hasn't it? The entire Tony DeAngelo saga with the New York Rangers and that entire experiment that ultimately saw a boatload of points go up in 2019-20, but just the very next year completely gets taken away. DeAngelo isn't even that old either. I mean, he's under the 2/3 buyout rule in the NHL rulebook, meaning that his contract will only be paid out 1/3 of the amount of money that he would have been owed. He was drafted back in 2014, which honestly feels like such a long time ago now that I think about it, because we've had 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like, my goodness, 2014 was 7 gosh darn years ago. I still remember the pre-draft interviews with DeAngelo, where the guy was probably the most charismatic out of all the 2014 prospects, and he made himself known as just a guy that seemed like a cool, funny dude. And then we had all the stories coming out about this guy from his days in junior, where he called somebody a racial slur, for example, in the OHL. Yeah, that's right, a racial slur. And no, he wasn't lashing out at an opponent after a scrum or scoring a goal or whatever, he was calling his own teammate that. The overall reputation of DeAngelo, after he got drafted and after he made his way into the NHL, was just not good. Definitely a lot different from the nice guy, cool, charismatic guy persona that I got from those draft interviews 7 gosh darn years ago. And so now the entire thing is over. After getting 1 point in 6 games played this season, we'll see where DeAngelo eventually ends up going because he will be a free agent. There have been teams that have been interested, but as noted, because of the entire attitude problem that this guy seems to have, not every team is going to be out there interested and willing to sign this guy and have him as a part of their core. There are some NHL teams that have expressed huge disinterest in DeAngelo, so we'll be interested in seeing how exactly that goes down. But another aspect I wanted to focus on when it comes to this entire DeAngelo thing with the Rangers is what happened to the Rangers after DeAngelo was taken out. Because as we noted, he was one of the top defensemen in the NHL in points, he was the best defenseman in points on the Rangers. So it begs the question, okay, now that DeAngelo is out, what's going to happen with the rest of the D-core? Well, the answer was pretty simple. All of a sudden, all the minutes you gave DeAngelo, the power play time, the offensive zone time, etc., all of a sudden, that and more was passed off to another guy on the Rangers who eventually made his name much more well-known, reputation-wise and talent-wise amongst NHL fans. You give all that extra playing time to Adam gosh darn Fox, who just won the Norris Trophy yesterday as the NHL's best defenseman. He is the first Rangers defenseman to win the Norris since Brian freaking Leash, who is a legend in his own right, and if you take a look at the entire Norris winner list, you can see that Adam Fox is the youngest Norris winner since Erik Karlsson all the way back in 2012. So, I mean, Erik Karlsson was really good, and we kind of know what he was at the best of his career. He won a few Norrises, actually, so there's a testament to how good he was. Adam Fox just became the youngest defenseman since EK65 to win this trophy. And a good chunk of the reason why is because this guy got all the spotlight in the world to do his thing. Now that DeAngelo was gone, the Rangers needed a number 1 right-handed guy to anchor that power play, and boy oh boy did Adam Fox do just that. 47 points in 55 games played. Let's do the math on that over a full 82-game season. 47 divided by 55 multiplied out by 82, on pace for 70 points. My gosh, a defenseman did that. I'm honestly really happy to see it because I was always a big fan of Adam Fox, even going back to his days with the Harvard University Crimson. Obviously, I think it's easy to see why I would have liked Fox back then, mostly because he was a pair with Vancouver Canucks prospect Jack Rathbone, but either or, Adam Fox was still a guy that had all the points in Harvard for a reason. He was really good at the World Juniors, really good at the World Championships in the limited sample size he showed there. As a rookie, he could have been a finalist for the Calder last year, but he just wasn't because Dominic Kubalik was there and he ended up taking that 3rd and final spot behind Hughes and Makar. But either way, not getting nominated for the Calder 1 year and the next year winning the gosh darn Norris at 22 years of age, hey, I think that's a pretty good consolation prize if you ask me. And it's honestly kind of funny because so many Rangers fans are going out there kind of just rejoicing in the entire DeAngelo situation, saying, yeah, this guy fighting with our goalie, that's not cool, doesn't seem like a cool dude in general, so it's somewhat good for the locker room, I guess, that he is off the team now. And it's even better for the guys in the locker room because Adam Fox is getting that spotlight. So one man's trash is another man's treasure, I guess? No, that doesn't really apply here. Oh man, is there even a proverb that applies in this situation? Maybe one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity? That's not even a proverb, I just came up with it myself. So, I don't know, talk to me in the comments what you think about this entire idea here. The Tony DeAngelo saga coming to an end, the entire experiment with him, it's over, and Adam Fox winning the Norris seems to have been the short-term result of that. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, Adam Fox is good now, Cale Makar is good now, Quinn Hughes, they're all good now, and they're all rookies in this entire sphere of NHL defending, but they still have so many more years to go. Adam Fox is 23. He will be amazing as time goes on, and when it comes to his overall long-term projection, I mean, This is a guy, he's going to be expiring in 2022, which is in a year from now, so if there's any time for the Rangers to make the most out of his $925,000 salary at the moment, then, I mean, now is the time, right? So tell me in the comments what you think about Adam Fox, Tony DeAngelo, the Rangers, and their right-handed power play quarterback situation. I hope you enjoyed this Visage Rosen 99, and bye.